Hi everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and we are going to work on the inside covers of the 8.5 by 8.5 mini album for Fairy Wings. And so what I've decided to do is do an alternating pattern where I'm going to have a contrast strip in between. And I've trimmed these out, and I think I've already inked them, but I want to show you what I did to get this so that all the pieces are even. They're not exactly, that's not true, but these two are even and this is a thinner strip, but I wanted that to be replicated on both sides. So what I did is I started out with a 6-inch tall piece, and I split it in half. So each one of these is 3 inches. And then this was probably 3¼ inches. So you can't, as you can see, that's going to be larger than 8.5, or it would have been larger than an 8.5. But I've already trimmed it down. But I didn't want one of these being smaller than the other one. I wanted these to remain even. So the way I did this is I took some temporary tape and I taped these together in this order. And then I laid it in the trimmer and I trimmed the green one. So that way these remained consistent, and I wound up trimming it down so that it is 8 3/8. And I took it all off the green one. So then I took the temporary tape off, and then I'll restack them in this order and everything will be consistent. And I've already done it on this one, and I've taped them together. So I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to make sure that it's not in the hinge before I glue it down. And when I say hinge, in the spine hinge. So I want to make sure I'm good and clear, and it looks like it is, but it's pretty close. So double check here, raise this into the closed position, and I'm making sure that when I fold it over and close it, that this edge of the paper is not going into that groove, because when you go to close it, it'll want to pick that paper back up, and it looks good. So I've already inked it. I'm gonna take my tape off, get some glue on this, and we'll lay it in. All right, hope everybody's doing good. We're having a nice day here. It's started off pretty hazy, but it's cleared off. It's turned into a nice day. I got a chance to get out and walk my dog, which my whole schedule's been so disruptive for the last several months because of the work we're having done at the house. I'm really looking forward to getting into some sort of daily rhythm again, including taking my dog out we try to do a 2-mile walk every day, which I need because I swear that's the only exercise I get, aside from running up and down my stairs. At any rate, so things are starting to get back to normal, which hopefully means I'm going to get back to some kind of a regular release schedule again. It's been really weird 5 months, at least from my perspective, scheduled with the COVID, the guys not coming every day, and then also having to shift my priorities to get my son through the end of his academic year. Let me double check. It looks good. All right, so that's in. Okay, so the next thing, now that we've got this piece in, I'm going to burnish this into place. I shared this in one of the other later videos, but I'm just really loving this Teflon bone folder. It's so smooth on the paper. I really like it. And I'm also using this end to actually do my scoring, and I've been really happy with it. And what I used to use is this sort of stylus, which I was happy with. I hadn't found a bone folder that I really liked that I could score with. And so far I'm pretty happy with both functions on this one. We have this in our shop. It'll be in the description of this video. If you click the show more, there'll be a list of materials used in the product that we sell. In addition to that, there will be, if you scroll down, the cut list. Okay, now I want this to look the same as it does on the other side, so I need to piece these together. So I'm going to flip them over, line them up, and then put my double-sided Scor Tape down to hold these in place. And okay, Just double checking that the orientation is going the same way for both, and it is. And I'm going to use, I think this is 5/8. It's just a little bit wider so I can get good coverage across the seam there. It doesn't need to go the full length. Oh, darn it. It jumped on me, so I need to separate them and realign it. Okay, now that I've got it this way, I'm going to actually lay it down this way so I can see that it's butted directly up against. And I'm pressing it into to make the seams match. There we go. All right. Much better. No gap now. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. There we go. Lovely. Okay, I'm gonna burnish that, get some, I'm gonna dry fit it real quick before I take the backs off. And again, we're doing the same thing where we're checking to make sure that it's not going into the hinge area. And I can see it looks a little tight to me. I'm going to take a sliver off. Okay. I like it better. Okay, now we'll re-ink it. Still haven't got my craft room back to normal, so there's more stuff on my desk than I'm comfortable with. So I keep flipping things around, so sorry about that. Okay, now I just want to make sure when I'm laying this in that I'm going to put it in where my butterflies are going right side up. Okay. Okay, so that's our inside liners. Okay, I'm gonna go double check some fittings, and when I come back, we're gonna work on the cover. And it looks like I've got just a little tab hanging off here that I'm gonna trim before I tear it. Just a little fraying. Trying to be careful because I don't want to expose my corner. Okay, there we go. Looks good. I'm probably gonna put just a tiny touch of glue on there to keep that from lifting back up. It'll dry clear and it'll reinforce the corner. Okay, so that is the inside. Like I said, when I come back, we will work on the cover. I am gonna go ahead and mark on the outside because this is directional. Which way is up? And I'm gonna try to, yeah, there's really no chance that this will be exposed, oops, with color blocking because it's so close to the edge. So I just wanna put that there so I don't accidentally put my pages in upside down or put my cover in upside down. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside and I'm gonna trim out the rest of what's gonna go on the cover. When we get back together, we will work on the cover. Hey everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Crate, and we are going to continue working on Fairy Wings, and we're on the cover now. So I've cut out pretty much what I think I'm going to put on the cover. I'm going to futz around with some of my flowers once I get my main pieces put down. So I want to point out that this bottom one, the bottom piece is from the 12 by 12 collection, and this is an ephemera card. This is from the 8 by 8 collection pack, and I've chipboard back this and I put cardstock on the back of both, and then these are fussy cut from the 12 by 12 collection, and I'm going to use them to embellish the front. This flower is also fussy cut. Here we go, a couple of things. And then this is one of the cut aparts that I paper backed. So I'm just going to fuss around with this a little bit and make some decisions about how I'm going to lay the flowers in, and make sure I have the orientation of the two main pieces down the way I want it before I move forward. I think I'm going to use this as tuck behind here, and then I've got a little, I fussy cut two of those. I'm going to put one behind and then one slightly on top. I got a little butterfly here, and I think I'll do that. So I'm just taking a look. This yellow one was actually part of this spray, and I'm not sure I'm going to use it. Maybe here. Okay, so I'm liking that. So that's one look, and then the other look would be to make this just a little bit more more right angles, but a similar layout. And I think I'm going to go slightly off center, which is not my comfort zone, and I'm sure you guys know that because almost all of my stuff is right angled. So I am going to make a departure and soften things up, and I'm going to put a little reference line there, get some glue on this. I'm going to attach these two pieces first. There we go. And then I'm going to glue all of this down. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's in. We're committed. Can't undo it. I don't like to glue all the way to the edge, and that's because I might want to tuck things slightly behind. You can always add that little bit of glue in the end. So I'm actually going to stay away from the edge for the moment until I figure out the rest of my placement. This is just one continuous fussy cut piece, and I've got chipboard on the back, and then I've just kind of bent and fluffed up the edges where the flowers are to give it a little bit more texture. When I lay it down, it doesn't look so one-dimensional. And I've done the same thing with this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this piece down because I know right where I'm putting it. There we go. And then I think I'm doing this. Okay. I forgot to ink these edges. Okay, and then I'm just gonna try to put a little curve on the tips before I lay it in. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and then I think this is my butterfly. Yes, it is. There we go. And then I've got these two pieces, and I think one's going to go slightly behind, and then the other one's going to go on top, like so. And then I'm going to lay this one right on top. There we go. Okay, now I've got these two big pieces that I need to lay in, and then I also had this little piece. I'm not sure if I'm going to work this in or not. I don't think it's going to work. Okay, I think I like it. Here comes my puppy dog. I can hear her. Hey, Nala. Okay, so that is the bulk of page of the cover. And so now I'm going to start working in some of these dimensional flowers here and there. And some of these, so this is 49 in Market, and these are called Sugar Posies, and the color is Tutti Frutti, and I think it matches pretty good. The colors in here are kind of this orange, or it's kind of a salmon color, I guess is a better word. Now some of the flowers are this sort of muted pink, and others are the bright pink. I'm going to steer clear of the bright pink and go with more of this muted look. I think that looks much better. And I kind of like that too. So here's another one. I'm sort of picking through them right now and getting the lighter color ones. Okay, I think I like this. I'm gonna see about working in a couple of small pieces here and there. kind of like that cluster at the top with this one peeking out. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these wishing bubbles, which are $49 a market. Also, I chose the color Crush, but there are several colors that actually go well with this collection. And at the end, during the walkthrough, I'm gonna point out a couple of those, so you can make some choices about which ones you think look best. I love these wishing bubbles. I think this one I need to stack some chipboard behind it so it's level. Sometimes I mount them with the foam on the back, and other times I'll take the foam off and just lay it down flat. It depends on where I'm putting it. In this case, I'm going to cut part of that foam off just so that it'll lay more flat against the card. There we go. I like that better. All right, and then not sure, that one might be too big. I think I'm going to pick a couple of the smaller ones. Okay, I like that. And then I'm going to do, I think I like that. Don't want to do too many. I like this here, so I'm going to add a little drop of glue and put that down, and then I'm going to glue the top of the purple flower to it. Hold that in place for a second. Okay, and then up here, I think I do want to add one of these more peachy colored ones. And do something a little bit more like that. Let's see if I can get it to lay flat. Maybe this will look better. Just this and this. These, the stamens in this flower are wired, so if you push on them, you can get it to open up a little bit. Okay, I'm liking that. All right, let's get some glue here and here, and then I'm just gonna hold these in place for a second. And I want the pink one to overlap this peachy one. So it's pink, peach, pink. Didn't hold. I think this is really pretty. Very pretty. And then I'm gonna tuck some leaves in, I think. Yep. This is very thirsty paper. Okay, and then I think I'm going to put a small leaf down here somewhere and figure it out. Nope, I don't really like that, so let me try something else. Sometimes I have to trim the leaves down because I think they're too large, but let's just see if it's an orientation. I have two, what's it gonna look like? I think they're just too big, so I'm gonna try trimming this down, see if I like it better. Yep, I like it better. Okay, let's back everything off. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna rethink this, see if I can get it off without tearing anything. It's coming right off. I think this is too big, so I'm gonna go with a smaller dot. I think these are so cute. They're a little hard to handle, but I like them. I'm just laying these down with the adhesive that's on the back, but honestly, I think you need to add some glue. I think that's too big. There we go. I like those sizes better. Now this one, some of them, if you look at the side, some of them are just flat back and some of them are under foam dots. So I've kind of done a mix that's flat. These two have foam dots. I like the way it's looking. Might use another small one somewhere, like on a flower. Can't seem to get it up. I'm going to place this tiny one. It disappears. Not really worth wasting it. There we go, I got it. That's sticky, sticky. Luckily, you can play with them because it's not sticky enough that it's going to tear your paper. And then once you decide where you want them, you can, I would recommend gluing them down because I do think they'll come back up if you don't. And so that's what I'm going to do real quick is go ahead and add a dot of glue behind each of these and make a mess, sorry. I'm fatigued, I'm done. This is the end. Then the last we have to do is add this to the cover and then decorate the back. So we are almost finished. So I'm going to pull the book in now since the cover is pretty much done. And we're going to lay the cover down here. And I actually may come back and do a couple more things here. And one of the things I'm thinking about is possibly some ribbon. But I'm not sure yet. So I'm liking that. I think it's pretty. So let's add some glue. I decorated my cover off the book, which I don't usually do. I usually go ahead and put my main mat down on the cover. And part of the reason is it's difficult to burnish the cover in place when you have all these all this dimension on it. So it's still working, but it's a little bit more trouble. Just FYI, you may want to actually design yours on top of the book instead of outside of the book. Okay. Okay, I think we're in. And then the next thing is we're going to cover the spine. And then I'm probably going to work some more of these dots on the inside of the book too, but that'll come during the embellishment phase. Okay, so now we need to get the back on. So I need just a minute. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do for the back. So I'm just going to continue this pattern onto the back. And then this is what I've chosen for the spine. So let's go ahead and get that in, and then we'll get the back in. I just think this pattern's so pretty. And then I am going to do some sort of embellishing on the back cover with either stickers or chipboard, I'm not sure, but it won't just be the gingham. It'll have something of interest on the back. Maybe even like an ephemera card backed with some cardstock, one of the journaling sides instead of the decorative side, the journaling side, so you can put some information about what's in the album. Date, time, event, whatever. And I made a big boo-boo just now, and it's something I don't do very often, but you should always start by covering your back so you don't have to smash your front when you're putting the back cover on. And I didn't do that, so I don't have my pages in yet, so it's not that big of a deal because I can just lay it flat. But if my pages were in, it would be difficult to do. Okay. And I've already inked it. Double check and make sure it's all trimmed to fit, and it is. So we're ready to go. Okay, so that's it. So that is the front, spine, and the back. And then, like I said, I will do some embellishing of the back later. But that's it for the cover. So while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and straighten up a little bit, and we're going to put the pages in. Okay, here's my pages. Let's do a little housekeeping. I'm not used to working in my limited space in my craft room. I usually do all my organizing on my 6-foot dining table, and I have a very small desk. It's not nearly as large as, not as long as my dining table, and I'm missing my space. Okay, so here we have page 1, page 2, page 3, and I'm just going to go through this real quickly so you're putting them in order, because here's why. Here's one that was out of order. So, okay, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so it's a good idea to go through them, make sure you have them in order, just like I did, before you get started. Okay, we're gonna need the pick tool to reach in and grab the tape. I'm gonna take the stuff out of the pocket right now, just so I don't have to deal with it. Sometimes it goes, there it goes, right in, and other times I have to struggle like now. There we go. Okay. So I'm pushing it all the way down toward the spine because I want to try to make sure I get my page in straight. And that looks good. Okay, then our next page, and if you guys want or haven't done this before, if you go back to the base album build, I go over the installation of these pages in detail and talk about how to make sure that you're getting your page in straight, even if you get your spine in crooked. There's a couple of things that you can do. You don't have to put the page in straight on the hinge if you need to adjust for the hinge not being straight. Ideally, your hinge is straight, but that doesn't always happen. And if you've made more than one mini book, you know that does not always happen. That is the goal, but not always the result. So anyways, I talk about, you know, ways to solve problems when you're trying to, that didn't want to go on, sorry. Get your page in straight. Make sure that I'm on. Is it in the right spot? It is. Okay. One time I was doing this and I pushed my hinge through and I actually got it in between a flap and not in the pocket of the pocket page. Ugh. And I didn't figure it out until it was all taped down. Thank goodness for undo. Which, if you don't know what that is, and you're a mini album maker, you need to research it. It's UN-DU, undo, and it will remove the adhesive or release your tape adhesive so that you can pull your page apart if you need to. It doesn't work on glue, but it does work on the tape. And there's nothing worse than doing all this work and putting in a page upside down. But if you have the undo, you can solve that problem. So much glue on my hands. Come on, there it goes. It's very snug, and I like it that way because I don't want my pages moving up and down and getting out of alignment. Okay, that looks good. Okay, it's in. It's in. And then here's our last page. I'm getting into my pockets. Okay, this is our last page, and of course I'm going to spend a little time embellishing, but I'm going to do that offline because I can work a lot faster, and I'm really trying to get this out tomorrow. Shoot. Shoot, shoot. Sometimes I think I'm just pushing it in, not pulling it out. There we go. There we go. Here's our book. Nice, nice. Page 1, 2, 3, and again, we're going to load this up. We've got lots of things to put in the pocket. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, page 8. All right, so that is it for now. The next time we get back together, we'll actually be doing the walkthrough, and I'll cover all the rest of the embellishments that I placed in the book. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Daphne from Scrap and Create, and this is Fairy Wings. And if you would take a moment and like, share, and subscribe, that really helps us move up in the recommended ranks, so that people, like-minded people, crafters, and mini album makers will see our channel and get to see and experience some of our tutorials for free as well. So if you would take a minute and do that, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks for spending time with us today at Scrap and Create. Have a good day.